all of those things. So when you know why you're doing something, it allows you to be able to, to not give up when it's tough, when you have to make sacrifices, when you have to make certain choices. If you've got a strong why you're doing something, it enables you to make those tough choices. Okay, so what are some of the benefits of investing in property? It's tried and tested over many centuries. I mean, even in biblical times, having land, was always a measure of wealth. It's always been there. The world is not growing anymore. There's not going to be more world. So the more or more land available. So as you can see, for example, if you were in Gauteng or anywhere really 10, 20 years ago, it's not what it is now. So it's something that people know that you need to invest in it to gain wealth for the long run. It's fairly easy to understand. You'll find that, for example, a one bedroom, everybody knows on average, depending on which area you're from, how much rent a one bedroom goes for, or how much it actually sells for. It's windows, it's a door. It's not that complicated. I can compare a one bedroom from Tembisa and a one bedroom from Sentin, and I can already tell the difference between the two. Whereas if it comes to shares or any of the other investments, they tend to be more complicated. Like, for example, if I say a Spar share or a Pick and Pay share, which you buy, you'd need to pull out spreadsheets to tell me the difference. Should you buy Mediclinic or Netcare? So it requires a bit more a skill to understand, whereas property is very easy to understand. The growth as well, it's fairly stable. That properties, even though maybe in the short run they might have small changes, but in the long run they increase in prices. In the 60s, a property for 5,000 rand. So it's unheard of right now. So it tends to grow with time, and it also provides cash flow. You put it, it's a business. You buy the property, you put a tenant in, the tenants pay rent, and that's how it enables leverage. Basically, leverage is being able to do a lot with the little. So you can, for example, if you're putting in a small deposit, you can then get a bigger property, whereas otherwise in other investments, you need to save up the money to buy that particular investment. With property, you can, with a little bit, able to buy a lot. And it's also a feel-good business, and especially the types of properties that you'll see that M5 invest in, right? It's normally properties that are debilitated, they're not in a good condition, maybe they're in a not so good part of town, and so they've been abandoned or neglected. So you're now actually making a change in our communities by making sure that you are actually fixing up properties that are not in good condition, and you are actually now giving South Africans good and safe accommodation to live in. So that is why property is a feel-good business. You're providing people, families, children with a home, a roof over their heads. So it's something that you do, and it really makes you feel good about the business that you do. So what are some of the common myths about investing property? Some people believe that you need to have cash. So the first thing that, a lot of these property groups on Facebook will say, the first thing that when they say, why aren't you investing? I need funding, I need capital. That's almost like a easy way of really making an excuse as to why you're not investing in property, to say, I don't have cash, or I need funding, and whatever. There's so many ways that you can invest, even if you don't have cash per se. And also, it doesn't necessarily have to be your own cash. It can be like a lot of people's cash, like how we do it as a Stokvel, for example. So you cannot say that you don't have the cash. You're just limiting your own thinking. The minute you say, I don't have enough money, or I need funding, you're immediately shutting your own way of thinking. There's so many other creative ways that you can invest in property without necessarily putting in a lot of your own money. People believe that they can do it themselves. And I think back to the first point, especially with property stokvels that you see out on the market, they will say that they want to raise this money over 5 years, whatever, and then buy this one property, right? That they then gonna co-own. And then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, 100%, but you're losing out because now you're waiting to only buy this one property after 5 years. What if it doesn't work out? What happens with people losing motivation along the way as well? There's no need to wait and save up and then buy the property all cash all the time. There are other creative ways that you can use to invest, right? There's also this belief that you can do it by yourself. So properties are, it's a team sport. You don't have to do it by yourself. You can do it with others. Like for example, you can have somebody who finds the properties and have somebody who does the management. You need an accountant. You need people who are going to give you the money. You need the specialist, tech specialist. So there's many people that come in that are going to make sure that when you're investing in property, you are able to not just do it all by yourself. Some people feel that they need to do everything by themselves, and that's not necessarily always the best way if you really want to be successful in investing in property. And then there's also this belief that you need to start small, that you need to start with a little 1-bedroom here or a little 2-bedroom here. You don't have to start small. There's many ways that you can invest in property without starting small. You can, for example, let's say you've got R1 million. There are other properties you can find in certain parts of the country where you can get 4 flats, like maybe even a block of flats for like R1 million, or whatever the case might be, or even 800,000 or 700,000 rand. So it's very possible that you immediately go big. And even with ourselves, I'll show you some of the pictures. With our little 2,500 rands that we are putting in, we are able to access bigger deals that we wouldn't be able to necessarily access if we were thinking small. So you don't have to always think or start small. There's ways and means that you can get access to bigger deals that maybe might not have been accessible to you. Like I said, if you just open your thinking and explore the opportunities. There's also the misconception that you need to invest where you live. So where you live might not necessarily have the best deals. So you might, for example, live here in Johannesburg, but there's nothing that stops you from investing in Cape Town or Durban or PE or Polokwane or whatever the case might be. There's ways and means that you can access opportunities all over the country, or even in the world, really, right from the comfort of your home. For example, ourselves at the Stokvel, we've invested in properties in Durban, in Pretoria, in Cape Town, as well as Johannesburg. So we are not limited by where we are. Sometimes people ask us, where are your offices? Where are your offices? We're like, our offices are in our homes, but we are able to invest everywhere because of the way that our Stokvel works, right? So we're not limited about with where we are, with where we live. Then there's also the belief that now is not a good time to start. Like at any point in time, people will always tell you that now is not a good time to start. There's always going to be somebody or some expert that's going to say now is not a good time to start. When interest rates are high, no, property is too expensive, blah, blah, blah. Now is not a good time. And properties are low, no, now is not a good time. Properties are low. There's always going to be now is not a good time to start, So if you're going to be hearing all the negativities and hearing all of the noise, you're never going to start. So the best time to start was 20 years ago. The next best time to start is today. So there's never the perfect time. The stars are never going to 100% align, and there's never going to be that perfect opportunity. It's about you making the best of the situation, right? So that's a big misconception around property. And then another misconception, people believe that there's only one way to invest in property, which is you find a flat, or you build a room, you go to the bank, you get a loan, or you build cash, and that's the only way to invest in property. That's not true. There's so many ways to invest in property, and I'm going to cover some of them in today's presentation. You can do borrow people who are investing in property money. You can do joint ventures and become a shareholder in somebody else's property company. You can, for example, say, I've got a good credit record. I can partner with somebody who can find me good opportunities, and I then just provide my credit record so that we qualify for the bond, and then we share the profits 50-50 or whatever the arrangement is between myself and that property investor who is out there finding deals. Because I've got a full-time job and it's very demanding, but I like property, but I don't always have time to find my own deals. But there are people who are out there on the ground hustling every single day for opportunities. So I can say, I will borrow you my credit, my affordability, so we qualify for the bond together. And then when you then bring in your skill of finding and managing property. So there's so many ways that people can invest in property. So there's also like your ETFs or your shares and all of those things. So people need to be just open-minded and not think that there's only one way of investing in property. There's so many ways that you can invest in property if you just open your mind up to the possibilities, right? So the Stokvel market is currently huge in South Africa. I think it's over 49 billion rand, right? 49 billion rand. It's like 9 zeros. It's a lot of money, right? But where's this money currently going, right? It's currently going towards your groceries and your burial stuff, or just short-term cash where we're just rotating money amongst each other, or we're rotating it and then we're splitting it out again in December for Christmas and New Year and whatever the case might be. There's nothing sustainable. We're not actually investing in assets that are actually going to make sure that at some point we stop putting money and now we just start earning passive income only. So we're always going to be putting money towards these things, but they're not going to actually be paying us in return, right? And they're mostly informal. There's just people that are treating it casually. We even say sidlali stokvel, meaning we're playing a stokvel. It's very, it's not, doesn't have like a business focus, or it's not well structured and organized. And so that's why they tend to be unsustainable in nature, and it's very consumption focused. People just really invest in property, they just put money just so that they spend it. There's no thinking of, let's actually think more long term, right? And it's also paper based. People still like keep sheets of paper and all those other things. So the future of stokvels are really informalized structures, running like businesses and actually having that business head and saying, guys, we are in the business of stokveling, business, and let's actually treat this thing like a business. And it's about being investment focused and saying, how can we use this 49 billion rand to kickstart our economy, to create jobs and to develop our economies. Even ourselves, as little as we are as a stokvel, we now have a full-time employee. We've got Penny, who's our admin assistant. Just as imagine if all the other stokvels grow to a point where they can just employ one person. Penny's like a matriculant. She just finished matric last year, and she's an absolute rock star. And and now we've given her really tangible work experience that she can take on going forward in the future. And she's also learning about property and about investment. And imagine if all these, our mother stokvels and our granny stokvels, can employ just one youth. Imagine the ripple effects that this could have on our economy. And then the future of stokvels is also about using technology and not this paper story, So let's use technology so that we are absolutely scalable. If I can tell you that we have got 200 plus members, I think it's about 210 now. If we had to do this like manually, I swear I wouldn't have hair anymore, guys, or I'd have gray hair. It would just not be possible. It's made possible because of technology. Technology allows us to scale. It allows us to reach a lot of people. Like I'm saying, we're now getting people from even outside of South Africa saying they want to join Sakhisizwe because the technology reaches them. They know that they can sign up, they can make payments, they can get their money, and there's no issue. There's no meeting under a tree here with a piece of paper, So that's really where all stokvels should be going. So why investing in through a property stokvel, right? So we share a common objective, which is really investing in property. And what I've found is that our members, even though they're passive investors, some of them are actually active investors as well. Like when I go to property events and networking sessions, I bump into our members all the time. And it's actually, someone actually said to me, Cindy, aren't you scared? Like people are going to be like, hey, when, because people know you now. And I'm like, I actually love it. And that's why I'm saying I miss our actual info sessions, because now I don't know the faces anymore, because we don't do live sessions anymore, But I found that people know that even though they can do this themselves, they also appreciate the passive income of it, So it's about people who are passionate about property and really want to earn income from it using the various methods and not just being single-minded and thinking this is the only way that I can make money from property. And then we collectively share in the benefits of property. Like I said, that with your little 2,500 Rand or 10,000 Rand, you're able to access an asset that you wouldn't be able to with just 2.5. So we're able to then gain a lot more as a group, right? And we also understand the common objectives. We understand that this is what we're trying to achieve, and so we are aligned from that perspective, right? And then I'm gonna let CJ, if he's still here, just cover, M5, because like I said, we're the stokvel and we've partnered with M5, who are our investment partners. So what the stokvel does is that we raise funds and then we partner with M5, who our investment partners. They source the opportunities for us and manage them so that we are able to continue with our lives and our jobs and whatever else we keep ourselves busy with, while they do the actual grind of making sure that we find really good opportunities. TJ, are you still here? Maybe she can just jump in.
TJ is here. Thank you, Slee. Thank you, Slee. I think a big, big round of applause for Slee. Let's show her some love. Thank you, Slee. Thank you, thank you. We can still clap. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. There on the reactions there, you can hit that icon there. Thanks a lot. Okay, okay, awesome. I see some people that are doing it and some people awesome. Yeah, we appreciate that. Okay. How does M5 come in here? M5, simply put, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are a company in 4 cities going into number 5 soon. We started off down here in Johannesburg. We've branched out to Cape Town and Durban. In particular, in those 2 cities, we do student accommodation, and we are also in Tshwane. And we are going to soon moving into Bloom Fontaine. Is there anyone who's from Bloom Fontaine? Yeah, hope. And why are we moving into Bloom Fontaine? It's because we want to also jump in there and solve some of the problems that are in Bloem Fontaine. What is that big problem? It is about student accommodation. That's the biggest problem there. Now, we're a business here and we do specifically 2 things. We do student accommodation and we do affordable housing. What is affordable housing? We buy blocks of flats coming from a bachelor all the way to a 2 or 3 bedroomed, and we buy them and you invest via Sakhisizwe. And out of that, we collect the rent and that's how you get paid. Simply put, that's what we do. And we've been doing this for the last 5 years or so, and still going strong, around about 200 tenants that we've got across the country. I think we're sitting on just below 250, and we have around about 350 students that we're looking after in the different houses that we've got. I think we've just closed on 2 more deals that will take us to around about an additional 100 in the same street in Cape Town. So amazing time that we in, but all of these things, it cannot be done if you are not partnering up with us. I think this is a superpower thing. You bring in the money, we bring in the skill, and together we've got the power, and that's why it works. Okay. Anything else over there? Let's jump on to the next slide. Slee, thanks a lot. And that's how the partnership of M5 between M5 and Sakhisizwe works. All right.
Okay. Thank you, TJ. Let me just go back. So really, the vision behind Sakhisizwe was just about, making investment properties accessible to a lot of people, and just providing that hassle-free alternative. Because finding really good opportunities. I think you guys must actually follow M5 Property Addicts on YouTube, and you can see some of the projects that they undertake and the work that they do on YouTube and on Facebook. So it's not really easy, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody's cup of tea. So, but you're still able to do that, to access those opportunities without you having to have your hands dirty or to deal with tenants and to deal with evictions and all the other fun stuff that TJ and co get up to, right? And so that's why we're able to use the power of the collective to access those opportunities where we don't have to deal with any of those kinds of things. The other day they're talking about tenants stealing electricity and all sorts of fun stuff, right? So what are some of our highlights that we've had since we started last year, July? We're barely 14 months old, so we're still a fairly new baby. We've raised close to 6 million rand in that period. During our lockdown, this was like our best period ever. I think we raised close to 2-3 million rand in that period. Our membership has grown to over 200 plus, and we've invested in several properties in 3 provinces, which is in KZN, in the Western Cape, as well as here in Gauteng. And we are the winner of those awards, like I told you guys in the beginning, And then, so how it actually works, right, is so the members join and then they pay their contribution. So you've got a choice, either making like a lump sum of starting from 10,000 rand going upwards, or you can make a contribution of 2,500 rand per month, and that's just the minimum. You're more than welcome to contribute more than that, right? So all the funds then go to Stokvel, which is like an app that we use, And Stokvel is a licensed FSP. They've got the FSP 48812. So there's the FSP number. You can go to their website to see all the licenses and the regulation around how the funds are managed from a Stokvel perspective. So Stokvel sits outside of us. They're not there's lots of other Stokvels on Stokvel. There's like I think a couple of thousands of Stokvels on Stokvel, right? So they're a very big platform for managing Stokvels in South Africa, right? So all the contributions are deposited and sit on Stokvel. So Stokvel is essentially also a bank account on its own, right? But instead of us going into like a physical bank, the money is on Stokvel, which all the members have got full visibility of what actually happens on Stokvel. So you get full sight of the current balance, any money that comes in or goes out. Everything is 100% transparent to all the members. When we take money out, we communicate to the members so they know when money is going out. There's none of this December story that Mang Mang has run away with money. So there's absolute transparency. People know when money is going to go out. We notify them and they see the funds leaving the platform. So once so our cutoff for that is normally the 7th of each month. So you've got any time from the 7th of the previous month until the 7th of the next month to make your contribution. And then after the 7th, we'll then invest it. So we will announce which investment opportunity we'll be investing in. And then that's when we're able to then take out the money on the platform just after the 7th, once everybody has had a turn to pay. So once the funds then leave Stokvel, we then pay them straight into M5's account. It doesn't go to Cindy's account or Dima's or Gertrude's. It goes into M5 immediately, and they then put it into a particular investment that we have agreed is going to be the investment opportunity for that particular month. And then every month thereafter, we are then able to earn income on a monthly basis if we have invested in that particular property. So how it works is that you get returns based on the property that you've invested in. So let's say you invest in a particular in month 1 and month 2 and you skip month 3, you're only going to get returns from the property you invested in month 1 and month 2. So this is just to make it fair for everyone. So you get paid from the properties that you have invested in. So that happens on a monthly basis. On the 20th of the month, our members are very happy that they've got the last bit of cash to push them through until month end for petrol or bread or whatever they need. Then they're able to get their monthly returns on the 20th and for a period of 12 months. So after the 12 months, your funds then that you've invested are then available to you whether to want to withdraw or reinvest. Okay, so okay, then this is just a summary of what I've said in terms of, to sign up on the website or the app. It's up to you what you prefer. You pay your joining fee. The joining fee for the monthly groups is 2,500. The ones for the lump sum, it's 1,000 Rand. And then our returns are a minimum of 15% per annum. And let me make this clear, this is interest, it's not dividends. And the reason why it's interest is because we don't actually own the properties, they are owned by M5. We're simply doing funding, meaning that we fulfill the role of, instead of them going to the bank to borrow money to buy or to renovate these properties, they come to us. So we are the bank, we've got the money, we've got the power, So that's why I said to you guys that there's many ways to invest in property. Don't be narrow-minded and only think there's only one way. Go and get a bond quotation when you buy a bond, and let me know. You guys can follow me on Facebook and let me know where it says the amount of interest you have to pay versus the capital that you have to pay, and tell me that that's not a lucrative business. Okay, so we get the interest on a monthly basis, and that's the minimum interest is the 15% per annum, right? So basically everything happens on the app, whether you're signing up, you're making withdrawals, you're making payments, everything, you're viewing your statements, everything is absolutely on board. So you can invest with confidence because we've carefully selected the partners that we work with, from our platform partner being Stokvel, to M5 being our investment partner, to our legal partners who work with Bruno, as well as Elise Leroux Inc. So they just make sure that, we do everything above board. Okay, this is just just so you know who the team is. I think they're also on the call. That's myself, and then there's also Dima and Gertrude, who holds the purse strings. And then we've also been very fortunate to have been featured in multiple news outlets. from TV on ENCA to Power FM and Massive Metro. I think I've been there twice, on 702, in Stokvel Talk, the newspaper, the Property Magician podcast. I've been on the Private Property podcast like 3 times, I think. So we've been everywhere, you know, really talking about investing in property via the Stokvel and all of that. And then, so what are some of the properties that we've invested in the past? We've invested in a property in Durban. This was actually our first deal, this one here that we invested in Durban. We've done Westdene, we've done Cape Town, 2 deals in Cape Town. This was the building I was telling you guys about. It's got 145 bed student accommodation. So, you know, on your own, you wouldn't be able to invest in properties like this. You know, it will take you forever to save up to invest in a property like this, because even the banks wouldn't borrow you the money to buy a property like this. So you need to put up a 30% to 40% deposit. You know, we've invested in this property here that's in Florida, in Johannesburg. It's a mixed-use building with residential, retail, and offices, and you know, and this one here as well in observatory. So you can see that it's different kinds of property, but the common theme is that they are multi-lets, meaning that they've got multiple tenants. So that helps from you know, just managing that risk of maybe 1 or 2 tenants not paying, and there's no income for us to get paid and all of that. So having multiple tenants help just to make sure that that risk is managed adequately, you know. So this month we're going to be investing in a property that's in Boysens. It's a small complex. It's got 6 3-bedroom 2-bathroom units, and the return on investment for that is going to be 15% per annum. So that's the investment that we're currently fundraising towards, and our cutoff for that is going to be on the 7th of September. I'm not thinking of February. I'm already next year. Like, I'm canceling 2020, guys. I'm already in 2021. Okay, so as I said, important to note, cutoff is the 7th of each month. So if you wanna start getting on this opportunity, you need to get in by the 7th of October. Yeah, and then once you've paid your joining fee as well as your first contribution, you qualify to start getting paid the following month. So say you pay your joining fee and your contribution by the 7th of October, it means you'll start earning in November the 20th. So you can join anytime, but if no payment is received, like after 30 days or so, you will unfortunately be removed, because we want to have active members on the platform, because it minimizes admin that we have to deal with from people who are not committed. So please only join if you're sure that this is what you want to do. Okay, so this is just a bit about Stokvel, how it works and all of that, and how it works. So basically how it works is that you need to download the app from your app store. If you don't know how to use the app, you can always use the website. So you need to create an account where you put in your email address and you select a PIN and all of that. So you get 2 OTPs, one for your SMS and one for your email. And once you've created a profile on Stokvel, you will then need to search for Sakhisizwe Property Stokvel and join one of the groups. So we're only accepting in members for the 2,500 Rand a month group, and that's what we call Sakhisizwe Property Stokvel Entrepreneurs, or in the once-off group. So we're not accepting members in the other 2, the one for 3.5 and 5,000 Rand a month. We're only accepting in the one for 2.5 a month. So yeah, but anyway, so once you sign up, we'll let you know if you've joined the right group or not. And then, so yeah, so that's basically, you click on the more button there, and then you click on join group. And then you need to search for Sakhisizwe, and then you'd find the list of groups there. So the one for 2.5, I think, would be the second one on the list, and the once-off one would be the 4th one on the list. But if you join the incorrect group, it's fine, we can help you. Unfortunately, Stokvel cuts off the names of the groups, so you won't be able to see from this view what the name is. You'll need to click on it and enter the group to actually see what the name is, right? And then once you're happy with the group, you then click on join, which is that little button at the bottom there. And then, yeah, so this is basically what Stokvel is about. So I love this quote. It talks about how wealth is like a seed, like a tree. What? Yeah, it grows from a seed, right, guys? And the sooner you plant that seed, the sooner that tree shall grow, right? So if you think that, let me wait, I'll join next year, or I'll join once, you know, this and that happens, time moves, and it doesn't wait for no man. So if you are starting already and you're planting your seed now, you will reap the rewards later on. Like for the guys that actually joined us when we started last year, when I look at their balances, how much they've on now, and I'm like, wowza, you know. And somebody actually said on my Facebook status the other day and said, wow, Slindile, you know, it's a good thing that you guys started Sakhisizwe, because where would all this money have gone? Like the 6 million rand that we've raised now, where would it have gone, guys? Think about it. Where would it have gone? Probably would have gone to Pick and Pay or Spa or to News Cafe or to Cubana or to Truworths. You know, it probably would have gone to some random place. And now people are actually earning a passive income and their capital is still there for them. Do you understand the power of actually just starting? And then I actually saw this other picture of Guamex. It's unfortunate, I should have edited it onto the presentation. They're talking about how Guamex, like it's a butcher sort of chisanyama in Durban, right? It started as some random smaller yana shop, and where it is now, it's this bigger mega complex of like a chisanyama, you know. And it's all about just starting. You're not gonna have R1 million today, but with your 2.5, and if you're consistent with it, or your 10,000 rand, it's gonna grow in value over time, you know. So you never think it might look like it's a small amount, or you feel like maybe it's a lot and you're stretching yourself. I have people who, when they attended like the info sessions, are like, hey, Snell, I'm not really sure I can afford this, but let me reduce here and there and let me see what I can do. And now they're becoming like consistent contributors, and now they come in, they're like, wow, we're actually glad we actually joined, because, you know, just by stretching ourselves and minimizing some sort of luxuries and other things and investing in something that is actually going to benefit us in the long run. So it's all about just starting, guys. It doesn't have to be waiting for this big miracle thing to happen. You start with where you are and with what you've got, right? And then, so that's my preaching of the moment. I just want to stop a bit early so we can take a couple of questions. But you can reach us on Facebook, on YouTube. We've also got our website, www.sakhisizwepropertystokvel.co.za. You can also email us, info@sakhisizwepropertystokvel.co.za, and also on WhatsApp. So if you need more info, the quick link to use is this one here. So it's bit.ly/join Sakhisizwe. It's case sensitive, so make sure that the J and the S are uppercase as well. Then that will send you the information via email, and it will also add you onto our database to make sure that you receive all our future communication. And if we start getting too much for you, you can always just unsubscribe. We promise we won't take it personally if you unsubscribe. So yeah, that's it then from me, guys. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna just go onto the chat line and see if there's any questions. I know Gertrude has been there and she's been fielding some of the questions, but let me see if there's anything I can take. Okay, so people are just saying where they're from PE and Rustenburg and Emalahleni, Delmas, wow, Pretoria, Centurion, Bloom, TJ, we did have a Bloom person, Midrand, Rustenburg, Springs, Cape Town, yay, from all over the place, Mandeni, Tshwane, awesome guys, Cape Town, Pretoria, okay, some issues with not hearing, Ivory Park, I've been trying to join, always getting a message saying I'll be contacted by nothing. Apologies about that. Please send us an email or a WhatsApp. WhatsApp is quicker. And then someone is saying, well done. Thank you. And okay, so the next one is, how does one acquire ownership of the property, or do you just receive passive income? So that's a very good question. So at the moment, this is just us funding the properties and earning a passive income, but stay tuned onto our Facebook, guys. We are launching something big, amazing in the next couple of weeks, so watch the space. What else? Okay, so then we've got great presentations, Lindile. Thank you, Tapisa. Thank you, Slee. Thank you, Dima. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna read all the nice messages. Very exciting time. Yay. Okay, and then please, can you cover administration costs? Okay, so Stokvel, the platform, does have administration costs. So when you deposit money or you withdraw money, there's going to be administration costs, and we do deduct those administration costs from your investment. but it's not a lot. It's like 30 Rand or something for like a deposit or something like that. And then thanks for the clarification, the interest income and not dividends, very important for SARS. Absolutely. So because we're a stokvel, right, we're not really a legal entity per se, because all we are is just people that are coming. Essentially, we're just individuals in a way, right? So we don't really pay tax as a stokvel. So how tax would work is that when we declare income to you as interest income, you need to declare it in your personal amount over the financial year, and then you pay in tax in your personal capacity. Candice is asking which plan, I missed the question now. Which plan, lump sum or monthly, would you recommend for someone who's aiming at earning a passive income? So both options provide you with passive income. It really does depend on what your preference is. You can make a lump sum or you can do monthly. It's totally up to you, and obviously your, where you at. I can't say make a lump sum and you don't have it. Or I can't say, make monthly contributions and you know that you're not disciplined and you're not going to stick through with them. So it really does depend on you and your personal circumstances. But for us, we all invest in the same property at the same time. And then also the people from the once-off groups, if maybe 6 months down the line, now they have come up with another money from wherever, bonus or whatever, they can always just invest it again. So we're not saying, once you've put the ones off, you are like, never ever again will want to see, you can, also invest your lump sum again. Okay, so admin costs, I think I've covered that. On lump sum, can I put more than 10,000? 10,000 Rand is the minimum for both the monthly groups and the ones-off groups. So it's 2,500 joining and 2,500 Rand monthly, 100% correct. Thanks, Lee. Rhoda from Pretoria. Can I reinvest interest in? Absolutely, you can. And Kanisha says, thanks, Lee, to join soon. We look forward to having you, Kanisha. And Bongs is saying, any reason why max is 100 if it is 100,000? Okay, really, the reason why we've got a limit of 100,000 Rand, one is because if you've got more than 100,000 Rand, you can go and invest directly with M5. So M5 takes people who have got 100,000 Rand, like the big leagues. They go to M5 directly. If you don't have 100,000 Rand, you start with us. But you can, for example, right, let's say you've got 20,000 Rand this month, and then 6 months, you get a 50,000, then another month you get 30. So essentially you've put in 100,000, but it just wasn't all as a lump sum. And that's really the only reason why we said maximum is 100, because we figured that if you've got 100,000 Rand, you can make a one-on-one and be a premium investor, and get invited for dinners with TJ and those kinds of things, So, yeah. And then thank you to both. Hey, Busi. Thanks, Busi. And then thank you from Galaxy. If I put in 2.5 and earn the interest and I want my capital, is it possible to get it back? Yes, but only after 12 months. 2.5 for how long? It's 2.5 for 12 months, like I said. So please explain. Maths, guys. What time is it? 9 o'clock. 2.5 times 12 equals to 30,000. Good. Okay, meaning as a stokvel member, you are limited to only invest in 12 properties. If that's the case, what happens to month 13? Is there a cap amount in investing from the 2,500? Like I said, guys, the 2.5 is a minimum. You can put in 3,000, 3.5, 5,000. It's up to you. It's just a minimum. It's not limited by that. Like I said, every month we invest in a particular deal. Some months we'll invest in more than, in some cases we invest in the same property more than once. We invested this month and next month again. Like you'll see, for example, the property in Poison, this is the 3rd month we're going to be investing in it, if you're following us on Facebook, right? Or you've been following our updates. So it's possible that we fundraise over a longer period, but every single month we are investing. So it wouldn't necessarily be 12 properties strictly. It might be a little less because sometimes we repeat the same property over 2 or 3 months, right? So that's how that works. So you pay 2.5 for how long? I think I've covered that one. Time is it? I don't want to go over the time limit. Okay, we still have a bit of time. Okay, so did you say Stokvel doesn't own any of the properties? That's what I said. And that's what I said. I said that we are providing funding for people like M5 who invest in properties. So we are essentially fulfilling the role of being the bank that provides the money, and in return we get interest. And I said, if you are interested in owning or co-owning, watch the space. And also I just wanted to add that I said in the beginning that we've been programmed to believe that there's only one way to make money with property, and I'm here to say there are many ways to skin a cat. And I challenged you to go and get a bond quotation to see, when you even look at your bond statement, look at when you look at your capital amount is this much and your interest is this much. Capital, interest, where's the money? And then, okay, did you say Stokvel's name on the properties? That's what I said. Thank you very much, guys. Yes, you're welcome. And then how do I know which properties I'm invested in? Please explain. Okay, before we invest, we always let the members know. We even sometimes post on our Facebook if we're feeling generous to the public, but all our members always know which properties we're investing in. We also keep track of who has invested in which property. We also have contracts that if any of the members want to view, we can show them which property we invested, which contracts have been signed, blah, 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 blah. So we always know who's invested in what. And you would know if you remember which property you've invested in. Okay, and then the next question is, so you get interest plus your capital amount. Is joining fee refundable? Yes, minus administration costs. I think it's pretty clear to me. This is Zandile. Thank you, Slee. Looking forward to joining before the cutoff. My job here is done, guys. Can I go home now? Can I like log off? Thank you, Zandile. Kenny says, in the event of a member's death, what happens? Yo, death is real, you guys. Death and taxes, two things. We unfortunately had a member actually pass away, hey, during, when was it? 2-3 months ago, but during like the COVID thing. She passed away, unfortunately. Her name was also Slindile, by the way, guys. And people are like confused. I thought I had passed on. But anyway, story for another day. So she passed away, unfortunately, right? And so her brother contacted us, which is, by the way, you need to do, guys. You need to let the people know what you've invested in and let them know where to find the information about where you've invested. And not just relating to us, even like your Old Mutual and your Liberty stuff, whatever. Have a should I die file and numbers of people to contact. Because Lindile, like me, was clever. She told her brother, I'm in a Stokvel, and if something happens to me, you contact Slindile. And which is what he did. He contacted me and he said, Slindile, my sister Slindile was a member of your Stokvel. She's unfortunately passed on. What can we do to get her money? So I said to him, okay, these are the documents we're going to need from you. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to need a death certificate. We're going to need a letter of authority to make sure that we're handing her money to the right people. So get a will, first thing, so that your right beneficiaries get your inheritance, whatever you've got. So he then got a letter of authority, which basically is the letter that the master's court gives to the executor to say, you can handle the affairs of the deceased. So he got that letter and then he gave it to us. He gave us a death certificate and we then made sure that her money got into the right hands. So that is what you need to do. 1, get a will. 2, get a should you die file. And 3, make sure you leave your money to the right people. Next question. Okay, yeah, I think I answered that one. Yeah, I answered that one. Okay, do we get interest in all the life of the property until it's sold? No, it's for a 12-month period. 12-month period, after 12 months, you get the capital that you invested back. Do we earn anything on the appreciation of the property on top of rental income? Sale proceeds, what happens there? We also share in the profit? No. There's 2 types of income. There's profit and interest. We earn interest. For example, think of it this way, right? You get a loan from the bank to buy a house, right? And the bank gives you money. You then reconfigure it or you do funny things, you extend it or whatever. Another bank is going to say, but you took our money and you put in students. Now we want more money because now you've done these nice things to the property. No, the bank gave you 400,000, but because you're clever, you've made sure that the property is worth more. That they can't now and say, give us more money. Think of it this way: we are a bank. The benefits of that: one, if that property is vacant, we don't care. We get our money. The bank doesn't care if your tenant leaves in the middle of the night and doesn't pay. The bank doesn't care if your tenant wrecks your property. They want their money. We are on the right side of the balance sheet. Most people are on the wrong side of the balance sheet where you're the one who's owing the bank. This time, we are the one that the other people owe us money. Are you saying after 12 months, we have to start afresh? There's always deals, guys. There's always deals. There's always deals. Don't worry. Don't worry about finding deals. That's not a headache that we have to worry about. It's M5, TJ, and Rita, and Hubert, and those guys who are very smart who have to worry about finding us deals. We just have to worry about putting the money together. Nati Tom says, thank you, Slindile. Every time I listen to you, I get motivated. Keep up the good work. Oh, you guys. And she's our member of our Stokvel. Happiness. Okay. So how much return interest on 100,000 rand investment? Like I said, it's 15% per annum, but we paid up over monthly. So whatever amount you're thinking of investing, take it times by 15%, divide by 12. And 15% is 0.15 times. So amount times 0.15 divide by 12. That's how much you can get on a monthly basis. So every month we'll pay you that amount into your, what we call your Stokvel wallet. So what you then do with it once it's in your Stokvel wallet is up to you. You can keep it there, you can reinvest it, or you can withdraw it. Every single month you've got a choice, and every month you can decide, this month I'm a bit broke, I want my money. Next month you decide, I want to reinvest it. Next month you decide to leave it there until and let it accumulate. It's your decision. We pay you out, you then manage it on your own. So Lufuno is asking, if I invest now, do I get paid the following month? As long as you've paid the joining fee and contribution by the 7th. Remember, not this month is in September. Our cutoff is the 7th of October. So if you invest now, you're only going to get paid in November because our cutoff is the 7th of October. Okay, I think I've covered most questions. Someone is asking me, sending me a private message. Okay, I'll answer that one privately. All right, I think I've covered most questions, guys, and with 2 minutes to spare. Did I miss anything? TJ, anything you want to say before we go?
TJ is covered here. Thanks a lot, Slee, for your time, and I'm trusting that it has been very clear and transparent to people. And yeah, we will be seeing you soon as all members. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you, guys. That's it from me. Have a good Heritage Day tomorrow.